Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am sharing my second video of my November daily 2018. If you saw my first one, you know I'm using a small notebook that I received with my One Canoe to High Five, which is their mail card subscription that comes monthly. It's kind of an extra gift that was included, and it was the perfect colors because I had a lot of blue that I wanted to use in my stash and hadn't gotten around to just yet. For this video, I'm going to start using some things from my supplies that I didn't think I was going to use in this album because I was trying to use things up from my stash of older items, but I realized that that's not as fun if you don't use some of your new things too and kind of spread those out a little bit. So it's becoming a lot more fun. I may go back to my first section and add some more things to it just to make it a little more exciting. So on day 9 and day 10, I'm gonna add a little card here with some washi tape and tiny attaching it, so that way I have an extra page because this album is just barely big enough for all the days. So I'm trying to save space wherever I can, and I think that that makes it look nicer too if there are some more open or more decorative areas. So I'm gonna start with the flip open card and the journaling for the 2 days, and then I'll go back and do day 9 on the left there towards the end. So I'm attaching this page. It's just a little card from an old messy box, and I'm using Maggie Holmes Flourish washi tape, this blue floral. It's really pretty, to attach that to the middle of the book there. I'm also going to open up my tiny attacher and do it sort of long arm style so that it has a little more support there. I really love this piece of ephemera, but it's just a tad too big, so I'm not going to end up using it, but I keep looking at it because I'd really like to. Like I said, I won't finish that page until I get done with the journaling in the little flip out card. So here's where I'm going to long arm staple it. And it doesn't close the staple, so I'm just using my bone folder, a paper folding tool, to close it up and then also to crease it later so that way it flips more nicely. And that works really well. It saves your fingers from getting poked. This is not something that I've done a lot, but I really like it when I see it, so I'm, kind of learning how it works best. And this ended up working for me, so that's nice. I am using my tab punch to punch out a little tab of this Maggie Holmes Willow Lane blue floral. That's really pretty, just to make that little page that I made easier to turn. I still want to use that little card. It's just a little bit too big, and the font doesn't really match Always Room for More, so even though I want to use it, I don't end up using it. I'm looking for some word and phrase stickers for each side of the tab. On the front side it says all the food. So there's a couple food stories in here. And then on the back side it says hungry for life. And I'm going to add a little star there just for some color. The Brunch date stamp was from an old Kelly Purkey stamp set that was weekend themed, which I really like. I wish you could still get it, but you can't. I use it quite a bit, and now I'm just using an old sheet of paper that I probably won't use for its pattern to type out some journaling on my typewriter here. At some point I'll speed it up so you don't have to, it is sped up, but I'll stop the video so that way you don't have to watch the whole process. But I realized that there wasn't quite as much journaling in here as I wanted there to be, so I think combining some of the journaling and adding extra pages or pockets here or there will help me include more actual journaling, because I really like looking back on specific memories. And even though this was only a month or less ago, I feel like I'm already forgetting some of those details. So I like getting them down in type or in writing so I can include those specific stories in my book. Depending on how much room I have on the page, I will cut the journaling very thin or not as thin, just depends on what space I have to fill. The journaling is just about how in November we went on some brunch dates and some D&D and game nights, and spent a lot of time at home with the cats and reading. And so just kind of journaling about those small moments or evenings or whatever that we spent with people and together, and that was all really nice. On the next page, when I start it, it will be about an early Thanksgiving that we had with my family. So there will be a picture of that pie on the coming spread, but I decided to go ahead and include the journaling for that here. So I just talk about having an early Thanksgiving and how we made a pie. I got some new Kelly Purkey stamps recently. One is kind of a November Thanksgiving gratitude themed stamp set, and I had an old stamp from her that is just an open square, and the new stamp has a little pumpkin pie, a piece of pumpkin pie, and it fits perfectly inside of that square. So I decided to make a little icon to add to this page of journaling, so that way it's not just typed text. And I think it turned out really cute. I just did it all in blue ink because that's what I had on my table, and I didn't feel like hunting around for pie colored inks this time around. I'm going to use some more of the Maggie Holmes Flourish Blue Floral Washi Tape, and I'm thinking I want it at the bottom, but I'm going to move it to the top here pretty soon. It's always a little bit of a puzzle trying to figure out how exactly I want my journaling to go. Sometimes it's fun to leave little gaps so that way it looks different, and sometimes I type too much and they have to be, really close together, one huge chunk of text. Normally if I'm typing and I mess up a word, I just give it a couple spaces and then type it again, and so it's not always one solid string of text anyway, and I'm fine with that. So you can see I sped it up and I stuck everything down. I put the pie icon at the top. And now on this other page, I'm going to use this Willow Lane sticker. It's a wreath that says "Together is the best place to be." So I'm just putting more of that floral washi tape there, just to make it pop a little bit more. And I'm adding the picture of Duchess and some word and phrase stickers that say 5 more minutes. And then I'm going to put the date in the corner with these Maggie Holmes Flourish Alpha. Just putting a little 9 there, and then flipping the card and putting the 10. I find this sticker that says Home, which was from the Sweet Freedom collection. And because I've added just a little bit of gold on the other pages, I think it works out, even though it's more of like a coppery gold sticker. It's just kind of a fun change. Excuse me. And then I am going to add a little heart that also matches, just to get a little bit more metallic. And then we're moving on to the next page. So this is the photo of the pie that we made for our early Thanksgiving. And since I've already talked about it, I'd like to keep this page pretty simple. I'm using this music note sheet music paper for the background, and that is from Maggie Holmes' Gather collection. And then I'm going to add the photo on top and just do some pretty minimal embellishing. I have this sticker that says "Oh Beautiful," which is also from Sweet Freedom. And then I'm using the One Canoe 2 Creekside plus signs, which are my favorite, and I'm now almost completely out of. And I'm putting the date in those same Maggie Holmes stickers. And then on the next page, we had kind of a nice quiet day at home together. And this is a picture of both the cats on my lap and then Casey sitting across the room on top of the dresser. And I always like moments like that because they're just really cozy and fun. I find this One Canoe to Twilight sticker that says "Home is wherever you are" that I want to use, but it just doesn't stand out very well. And I don't really like this copper tape for this spread, so I just save it for later and decide to use a navy snowflake tape instead, which works really well. It creates more contrast, which is good, but it does need moved up to the top of the page because it's a pretty big sticker. Excuse me. I'm just doing a little bit of journaling with my 005 Secura Micron pen. And then it doesn't quite look finished on the left, so I add a sticker that says grateful. And then the 12 for the date. And I really like how that looks. The grateful sticker is also from One Canoe To's Twilight stickers. And then on the next side, I know I have a couple days in a row where we didn't do too much. I didn't have photos, but I still wanted to document them. So I'm going to leave a pocket on the edge and just kind of combine all of those days into a card that can be pulled out like a tag, and we'll have a little flip up section. So I'm using this gingham print paper, which I think is also from Maggie Holmes Gather. And then I'm going to use these old messy box cards to make the flip out. So I'm using a 3x4 card and a 3x3 card. The one picture that I do have for this little piece of the scrapbook is from when we went to see a band that we like called Bastille. And then I'm covering it up with the 3x3 card and just tiny attaching it so that way that part flips up as well. For day 13, I just talk about trying meditation, which is difficult for me, so I didn't really have much to say about it. Then on the other side, obviously, is the concert, so I did a little journaling, adding the date with my Kelly Purkey White Alpha, and doing just a little bit of journaling at the bottom with my 005 pen. And then I'm going to talk about a evening that we just stayed home and watched a Netflix Christmas movie on the back side of that. Sorry, guys. I am looking, I thought maybe there was a old-fashioned television ephemera with the Twilight set, but there is not, so I just am flipping through trying to find it. And then I end up just choosing some random stickers and washi tape and word and phrase stickers just to fill out the bottom of that card because there's a big blank space there. I also decided to crease it so that way it flips open a little bit better. So that's 3 days worth of documenting in one little card, which is nice. Like I said, I'm trying to save as much space as possible since this is not a huge album. Here's a closer look at that page. I think I'm just going to barely make it, which is great. I'll keep counting as I go so that I don't completely run out of space. And then I'm going to use this scrap that I use my circle punch for to make a little tab to pull this out. I'm out of tiny attached staples, so I will not be using those. And I'm just adding a word and phrase sticker that just says little moments, and then it tucks right into that pocket, which is great. On the next page, I have an Instax photo of Casey and my nephew. And I'm going to do the same thing on the left side, just do journaling about 2 days in a row because I don't have any pictures from the 16th, but we celebrated my mother-in-law's birthday. And it was really nice because we all got together, and we don't get to do that super often anymore. And we just had dinner and played games and had a great time, so that's really nice. And then on the right side, a photo of Casey and my nephew, and we spent a morning at the library with him and my sister and my aunt, and then we got lunch at this old-fashioned diner that's pretty close to the library, which was really fun. So I'm just using this Willow Lane sticker that says "Some Kind of Wonderful" and adding some hearts from One Canoe 2's Twilight collection. And I'll do some journaling with my 005 Secure Micron pen again. And I just put 17 at the bottom with some washi tape, and I'm actually going to change that to a metallic washi tape later. You can see I spared you the journal cutting this time. I'll try to be better about remembering to stop the recording in the future. But I've just got all my journaling there for both days. And then at the top, I want to put books since we spent time at the library, but it's just a little too tall. So I'm just looking to see if there's a smaller one. And there isn't. There's actually a bigger sticker. So I just decided to fussy cut it so that way it will actually fit. You're also going to see me, I'm just changing a few things to be metallic, so it's not the only metallic piece. This washi tape is horrible, but it looks pretty cool, even though it's basically what's happening is the copper is coming off because of the tape, where it's rolled over itself, which is just not very smart, but it still looks neat. I just have to use extra adhesive when I stick it down. So I've got my books cut off there, and I add 16 in the middle. And just changing the tape at the bottom there too. So that is it. I just replaced the numbers, and that's the whole second section. So I will probably have one more of these, and then I will do a full flip through. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.